Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are back with some more vampires, using the old Sorin combo, but we are running a version of the deck which uses fight rigging. So this is a slightly different Golgari sort of splashing Abzan version of the deck, because as long-time viewers of the channel may know that before Vein Ripper was a thing, we had Ghalta and Mavren. So this is a 12/12 legendary dinosaur vampire for 7 mana with trample. It says whenever you attack, choose one, create a tapped and attacking XX green dinosaur creature token with trample, where X is the greatest power among other attacking creatures, or create X/1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. So there was an attempt to make Sorin into Ghalta and Mavren a thing back in the day. Trouble is that this is relatively vulnerable to removal if you just play it on an empty board, and you don't really get any value out of it, which is obviously not the same with Vein Ripper, which is much, much harder to remove. So we are still using the 4 copies of Vein Ripper, but we also have 3 Ghalta and Mavren, and we're essentially just going to try and do both, because we have 2 ways of kind of cheating the cards into play. We have Sorin, obviously, with its -3 ability, but we also have Fight Rigging, which is a hideaway card. So when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 5 cards of your library and exile 1 face down. And then at the beginning of combat on our turn, we put a +1/+1 counter on target creature we control. Then if we control a creature with power 7 or greater, we can play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So this is a good way of cheating into a Ghalta or a Vein Ripper, and we essentially have sort of cheap, high-power creatures that allow us to get there. So we've got 4 copies of Pugnacious Hammerskull. So this is a 6/6 for 3 dinosaur that when it attacks, if you don't control another dinosaur, you put a stun counter on it. And then Shakedown Heavy, which is a 6/4 menace for 3, which can only attack if the opponent allows it to. But obviously, if they don't, if they do choose to remove it from combat, then we do draw a card and untap it. And that's essentially the entire deck. I mean, there's a few cards around it, but that's basically all that we're doing. We're trying to cheat one of these very powerful creatures into play, and if they stick around, you will generally close out the game very, very quickly. The other cards which sit around them are, we've got 4 copies of Elvish Mystic and 4 Llanowar Elves, just to help us kind of get even quicker to our combo, so we can potentially play Fight Rigging or Sorin on turn 2 when we have these. And we're also running 4 copies of Thoughtseize, just to help disrupt the opponent's hand if we know that we can get rid of some of their removal or anything that might interfere with our combo, then that's good. And then just a couple of Preachers of the Schism. So this is a good card for if we do need the game to go a bit longer. It can kind of hold off the ground, generate a bit of value when it attacks. Just a very, very good card. So we've got a couple of copies of that as well. And also gives us something to do with Sorin. If we don't have any of our kind of big payoffs in our hand, then we can use it, use that on a Preacher of the Schism and just get some more value off of that. Then in terms of our mana base, obviously we are running a lot of black lands because we want to be able to reliably cast Vein Ripper. But we will occasionally have to cast Ghalta and Mavren, but I would tend to avoid that if possible. So we are only running 1 Cavern of Souls, despite this being a vampires deck, just because we've got a lot of creatures which aren't vampires sitting around it. Some fast lands, a couple of green-white dual lands just to help us cast Ghalta and Mavren if we need, and then 3 copies of Mana Confluence just to help make sure that we have the colours that we need. Obviously, it is a little bit painful having to rely on this land, as it does some damage every time we use it. But I think the speed of the deck as it tries to close out the game means that that's probably worth it. And then 1 basic Swamp and a Beseiju as well. Then in the sideboard, pretty simple sideboard, we've got some additional hand disruption with Duress, 4 copies of Fatal Push just to bring in some removal if we need it against opponents' early plays. Knight of Dusk's Shadow is a good way of stopping the opponent from gaining life, just because that's a bit of a problem for this deck. If the opponent's running an Angels deck or something, then Ghalta or Vein Ripper often can't keep pace with them. I think when I was playing Angels a couple of weeks ago, I sort of beat up on quite a few vampires decks, because not only does your kind of life total grow beyond the ability of these creatures to keep up, but also your big flying angels can kind of tussle with Vein Ripper in combat. So that's worth bearing in mind. With a Bloom command, just a very versatile removal spell, draining the opponent, getting rid of some annoying non-creature, non-land permanents, or just getting us another land if we need it. Unlicensed Hearse is a good way of interacting with the opponent's graveyard. And then we have a couple of Path of Perils as well, so which misses most of our kind of payoff creatures if we cast it for its 3 mana, and we do have the mana to cast it for 6 as well on the rare occasion that we might need that. So that's a good mass removal spell to include in this deck. So yeah, that's the deck. Fight rigging vampires into play. Just yet another derivation of the Sorin Vein Ripper combo, but a little bit of a different one, so let's see how this goes on. So thank you very much for watching. As ever, hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and let's go on to the ladder. Okay, this is a pretty good opening hand. It's a little slow, but we do have turn 3 Sorin into Ghalta or Vein Ripper, so can't really complain about that. The opponent's on a mulligan to what looks like 4. Okay, I think let's turn 3 into Vein Ripper here. I think it's probably a decent way of going about it.
Uncultured monsters.
Because they may well have removal here.
I guess you'll do.
Yep, that's fine.
Vengeance will come for you one day.
Okay, so they're playing an adventures deck, fair enough. So let's play fight rigging. Have Ghalta and Mavren. Okay, this is quite a hilarious. Quite hilarious combination. Yes. It seems likely that we will win from here. And indeed we did. So, I think if they're running a lot of adventure creatures, I think Fatal Push is good in a way that Thoughtseize probably isn't. And Path of Peril is decent. Trim a couple of Pugnacious Hammerskulls. With the Bloom command's actually pretty good as well, so let's just get rid of all of these. Just become a bit more interactive. Don't think we want Knight of Dusk Shadow. They don't really do much life gain. Duress, no. Unlicensed Hearse, no. I think this is fine. It's on the edge of keepable, this one. Okay. Well, I'm going to be able to kill a lot of their creatures, but not do much else. Yeah, that's a pretty strong start for them. Actually, Wither Bloom Command's quite a decent answer to Lucky Clover as well, so I think what I might do is push one of these. Wither Bloom Command, getting rid of their other creatures. Yeah, that doesn't seem bad. Okay, Path of Peril may come in handy at some point, but in the meantime, let's just play Shakedown Heavy. Path of Peril may have to be cast for 6 mana here, if things get too much uglier. Sure thing. Okay, that's Fatal Push their other Love-Struck Beast then. Yeah, that is not a vampire. So, let's play Mystic. Pop Sorin into play. Tick it up. Okay, could do with a good vampire here or a land. Okay, fight rigging is not actually very good, but could be good later. So Sorin's going down here.
Darkness will always return.
Oh dear. Okay, well, let's... I think we're just going to have to pass the turn and hope here. This is not a good time to draw Vein River. Okay, let's blow up the world. So if we could survive a couple of turns, we might be alright, but it's not looking ideal. They've got a full grip of cards. Okay, well at least we'll be able to drop a couple of creatures into play here. Interesting using a Pick Your Poison, fair enough. Great sideboard card in Modern. This haven't seen it a huge amount in these formats, so that's an interesting development for sure. Okay, I need some way of hastily dealing them 5 damage, which doesn't seem likely, but... Nope. Okay, close one there. We were able to fight our way out of quite a bad spot. So I think I am going to stick back some Thought Seizes, just to get rid of their Lucky Clovers. And let's ditch some of our elves. I think that's fine. Yep, this is a strong opening hand. Let's take a peek in theirs. Yeah, I think I'll just take their pick your poison here. And let's play Witherbloom command. Grab back a land. Okay, Lucky Clover is annoying, but...
If you threaten Innistrad, I will. Join my crusade.
Ooh, interesting. I am bemused by this performance. Let's pick Vampire here. Let's hit them with a Thought Seize. Take their Bone Crusher Giants. Play Shakedown Heavy. Potentially build up to popping Ghalta and Mavren on the battlefield. Okay, let's give this...
My bloodline flows through you.
Super! Yep, this is a very neat situation. Interesting. Okay, well, let's get rid of it anyway.
This wasn't my fight anyway.
I was about to... honestly, ruining my fun. think this is fine. Obviously, having none of our combo pieces is a little bit rough, but let's pop a Preacher into play just because it's so good. See what the opponent's up to. Okie dokie. Well, let's take a peek in their hand. Ah! So, some sort of ramp. As long as it's you may play. Look at the top card of your library. Okay, fine. So, I mean, we're probably going to get rid of that. World Breaker. Yep. That is a set of cards which exist. Fine, so it's sort of Gruul ramp by the look of it. So I'm not entirely sure how to respond to this situation. You'd think they'd be running elves. So yeah, let's pop in Fatal Push, take out Hammer Skull. Just try this? I don't know. We didn't really see much of what they had going on. Yeah, it is just a kind of ramp deck. I mean, fair enough. Oh, let's take another peek in their hand. Take Beseiju reaches skywards. Okay, my hand is properly terrible at the moment, but ooh, thanks. That's actually quite helpful. Gets me the additional swamp I need for Vein Ripper. Okay. Well, that's annoying. The slowest build-up anyone's ever seen, but... and probably just a little bit too late. Okay, there's a lot going on here. And I'm a fan of basically none of it. Exile. Okay, so they're gonna destroy one of our lands next turn, so we're gonna have to get a creature into play. So let's drop Vein Ripper while we can. Yeah, 6/5 does not line up hugely well against a 5/7. Now it's not quite so bad. Okay, hopefully that should keep us going. Yep. Very good. Okay, we are absolutely motoring through these games, so let's do one more. This is not a keepable hand. This is. So let's put back Mystic. Demos. Ah, okay, the old angels, fair enough. Well... let's take a sneaky peek in their hand. Righteous Valkyrie can come out here. This Seju's not doing us much good, but... okay, what are they going to get rid of? Probably Preacher? No? Okay, fair enough. Well, I'd rather keep my Preacher alive anyway. Okay. So this is the match I always fear, is having to face down the Angels deck. Stick Ghalta and Mavren under there. Okay, now we're going to get hit in the face with a Kyler's reconstruction for 3. Wah. Ooh. Ooh, and that's a bad miss. Okay, let's double block their Skyclave Apparition. Okay, they are going to get to do it again though, so I'm not sure we can rely on them missing quite so badly next time around. It's going to be one hell of a fight. I still think it's advantage them at this point, just because they're going to gain so much life with this reconstruction. Yep. Yeah, it was never likely they were going to miss twice. 76 life. Well, it's a problem. Okay, let's play Sorin. Pump up Ghalta and Mavren.
I bestow a mighty curse.
Pump up Vein Ripper. I mean, I'm super dead, whatever, but you know. Okay, that was a hell of a thing. So, In you come, Knight of Dusk's Shadow. Path of Peril as well. Fatal Push. Let's take out Thoughtseize. Some elves. And a Shakedown Heavy. Yep. No more life gain for you. Ha ha ha. Okay, let's put Sorin into play.
Uncultured. This is but a taste of my power.
Keep their life total under some level of control. Well, we're pugnacious hammer sculling all over the place here, so let's just play another one.
My bloodline flows through you.
Okay, Apparition gets rid of our Dusk Shadow at least. Fortunately, I have a good answer to that, so let's pump up our Hammer Skulls.
Thirst for life.
Send in other creatures. Play another one. That should be sufficient, I think. Yep. Okay. Knight of Dusk Shadow, the MVP. So let's just go full control here, I think. I don't think we win with this hand. Not convinced we win with this one either, but... Take their Righteous Valkyrie. That's quite annoying. On a number of levels, that's quite annoying. So... try and bait an Apparition out of them. Yep.
Curse the bloodline.
Oh, I see. You're going to turn up there, are you, though? That's really quite annoying. That is not ideal. On any level. Alright, well, let's just get rid of their Skyclave apparition here and just start some top deck war. Okay. I fear we've just lost the top deck wars. We have very much lost the top deck wars. We may not. Ah! Come on! No! Ah! Why that land? Ugh, one absolute horror show. Well, considering how awful our hand was there, I think we put in a reasonable fight against Angels. Never mind. Still, good fun though. That was, yeah, interesting. Did some good work. Won some games. That second match was a bit of a non-match, but I think we were well positioned post-sideboarding for that one. Yeah, no, it's good. The main deck's very powerful, and then you can kind of board into something very, very good with fatal pushes, and the Knight of Dusk Shadow almost got it done for us there against Angels, which is kind of this deck's kryptonite. So yeah, not bad at all. So thank you very much for watching. Here's the deck list one more time. So let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, hit those like and subscribe buttons. You know the patter by now. See you next time.